Hi, I'm Linda. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, and I wanted to show you something today that I thought would make a fantastic gift any time of year, but right now we're just a week and a half away from Mother's Day, and I thought it would be nice to show you one possible example. This week I did a class where we decorated a little canister to put tea in, and then also we also made a little acetate card, which I've popped a little lemon wedge on my cup here, and you can see you would write your message in here. I might show that another day perhaps. But the other thing we did was we decorated these candles, and candle stamping is something that I haven't done much in recent years. I remember doing it very early on, and had various disasters with wax and all kinds of things while I was experimenting. But it's a fun but really simple thing to do, and I thought you might like to see how I do it. There's a couple of different ways of doing this where you can actually transfer the images onto your wax candle. To get started, however, you will need a candle, obviously. Now all candles have a different melting point, so you may need to experiment. I would start by buying 2 candles and just playing around, maybe having a bit of a practice just in case you mess up the first time. But once you get used to it, you'll have a very good idea of how quickly the wax melts up to actually put your image onto the candle. You're also going to need tissue paper. Now tissue paper is easily bought at grocery stores or newsagents or wherever. Just regular tissue paper usually found in the wrapping section. That's fine. And then you're going to need some stamped images. Now for this one, I've stamped the banner image from the Choose Happiness stamp set. That's this one. This has actually been discontinued at the end of May, so this is a retiring stamp set, but it's got this great little banner image in it here, which I've used in so many different ways, and I find it really great. So there's a few stamp sets though that have lovely banner images, and they're really nice to put around a candle anywhere, but I really like putting something like that around the base of the candle. Also, I'm using a nice cuppa, which is a stamp set, also retiring, which includes this great little teacup image, and it actually has Big Shot dies to cut out the images, and I have used that with the tissue paper. Tissue paper does actually cut out quite well with your Big Shot. Also, there's this little heart-shaped smoke or steam image, which stamps beautifully. Once again, I used, you need to use like a water-based ink, I find works best for this, and you could use regular dye inks, or in the case of the black here, I've used Memento ink. That works just fine. And there are, like I said, different ways you can transfer the image to the candle, but I don't. I actually leave it on the tissue paper and melt my tissue paper into the wax. So I find that works really well for me. It's relatively simple to do. So once you've got your candle, you're going to stamp your images that you want to put onto your candle, and then you're going to cut as closely as you can around each image. So this one I've just cut out with scissors because there's no actual Big Shot die that cuts this one out. And these little ones here, I worked out I needed 3 of these to go all the way around my candle, and I've just stamped them nice and close. So I'm going to start with these little banner ones and work my way up the candle, but it's completely up to you where you put them. There's no order that you have to follow. So of course you will also need a heat tool, not a paint stripper. That would completely be too hot to melt and would melt your candle far too fast. I've started it up already because you actually need to make sure that your heat tool is good and hot before you start working with it. So I would just let it heat for 30 seconds or so to make sure it's nice and hot. And then you're going to get your image. I need an extra hand, don't I? I'm just going to pop that there for a moment. You can do that because it's got the little stand. And I'm going to position this where I want it to go. I'm going to do it just by hand and just hold it in place and kind of just mold the shape of the candle. Then I'm going to get my heat tool, and away from my fingers I'm going to start to heat it. Now immediately it starts to go shiny. It is starting to melt, so move on. As soon as you see it get shiny, don't persist, don't keep going. You just want to make it stick. And then I do the same thing over here, over this side. I'm making it stick here too. As soon as it starts to get shiny, I move on to the next area. Now, I usually smooth it over with my finger just to make sure that I've actually got it going into the wax the way I want. I've actually done this slightly crooked. Lucky I have a few practice candles. And if you see any bits of the tissue paper sort of sticking up, you just want to hit it again with your heat tool just till it goes shiny, smooth it down, and that's it. That's all you have to do. How easy is that? Alright, then you move on to the next area. Now I'm going to straighten this up a little bit because I want this to continue on. So I'm just making my design start again. Smooth it around so it just touches where it was before. Hold it with your fingers. Now I turn this off for a minute, but we should still have plenty of heat here. And as soon as it starts to go shiny, start smoothing it down. Yep. Whoa. Okay, smooth it back down this way. So you want to go in the direction of your paper. I can still see a little bit of edges there of the tissue paper, so I just hit that again. As soon as the edges disappear, it's time to move on. Okay. Right, so now we've got this last little bit. Now, this is actually a little too long. So when I put that on here, I can see there's an overlap. So I'm actually just going to trim off that last little bit. Oh, throw my scissors around. I'll get rid of that last little bit there because that's how much too long it is, and pop that on there again. So this is just a really different way of stamping and doing something a bit different. I felt really comfortable with the gift set. I really liked having the canister and the card and the candle as a set. Okay, so now I have a nice little border all the way around. You can see the one I did here earlier. I had that one a little lower. This one I put up a little higher because I really quite like this colour down the bottom here, so that turned out really nice. Alright, so now I'm ready to do my next shape, which in this case is my teacup. Where will I want that? I'd like it about there. But I'd actually like to stamp greeting onto that. This little nice cuppa set has a couple of nice greetings that look terrific stamped onto the image. There's one that says World's Best Mother, and there's this one that says You Are Terrific, which goes with the theme. Alright, so I have one there. You are terrific. There we go. I'm going to position this where I like it. I don't think it really matters. There we go. Happy with that. Make sure it's straight. Okay. Go back to my heat tool. Fingers out of the way. Position it right. It does move if you're not careful, so you just want to make sure you do have it where you want it. But once it starts to go shiny, it's melting in. And then maybe down towards the bottom. right into, and if there's any, like I can see here, there's a little bit of the edges haven't quite melted in, so I'll quickly heat them again. So basically you go until it's just in enough. Okay, and that's good. Okay, so now I've got my "you are terrific" words on my little teacup there. And the last thing I added was a little bit of smoke, because I quite like that. I actually, on my original here, you can see I've done a couple of teacups. If you put them really close together, you'll have room on this size candle for 3 of them. But you might just want to check that out before you start, so you know how close to put them together. Okay, so I'm happy with the little heart. Now this one's smaller, so do be careful with your fingers. You might want to start with if you're worried about your fingers, start with a slower heat setting. Go back to where you were. Okay. You don't want to stay in one place too long with your heat gun, because you don't want to start melting the surface of your candle too much. Okay, so now I've got my smoke melted on, and you can see this one I didn't do smoke, I just added a ribbon, but you really can use any image you like. It's completely up to you. And these candles are actually their white tea scent, which I'm not sure what white tea is meant to smell like. It doesn't smell like my cup of white tea when I drink it, but they actually do smell really nice. It's a pretty smell, so that's also something nice for Mum for Mother's Day or any other occasion, depending on what you stamp. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's the easy way to stamp on candles. Very simple to do, and it's a bit of a wow. Have a great day, guys. Bye.